LEGO fans! At the budget end of the summer 2021 LEGO Harry Potter range, we have another minifigure accessory pack. You may recall that in 2020, we got the 40419 Hogwarts Students Accessory Set containing Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy, Hannah Abbott, and Cho Chang. Making it extra special was an exclusive Marauders map tile, and it is, at the time of filming, still the only way to get the Ravenclaw torso worn by Cho Chang. That set retires at the end of 2021, but for now we're focusing on something new. Today, I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing set number 40500, Wizarding World Minifigure Accessory Set from LEGO Harry Potter. This set contains a mere 33 pieces, but still manages to beat the 23-piece Flying Lesson set from 2002. The 33-piece part count includes 4 new and exclusive minifigures. A HP 297 Mr. Borgin, who, alongside co-founder Correcticus Burke, founded Borgin and Burkes, an antique store in Nocturne Alley specialising in objects of dark magic and other dangerous magical artifacts. We also get a HP 300 Harry Potter in Gryffindor robes, who looks very familiar, a HP 301 generic wizard, and a HP 302 generic witch. We'll take a look at those later and see if we can match them to actual characters in the movie. The set retails at $15 US, 15 euros, or 13.5 of your Great British pounds, and is a LEGO store exclusive. The packaging is not terribly exciting. It has a plastic clamshell to imprison the minifigures and a cardboard hanger to try and make it look like it's worth $15. Most of the art on the front is obscured by the plastic clamshell, but it does show the frontage of Borgin and Burkes complete with creepy skeleton. It also shows off the 4 minifigures complete with their accessories. Those minifigures are named on the back of the packaging, but frankly I'm disappointed that LEGO did not base the witch and wizard on real characters. Apart from that, we have pictures of some of the accessories, including a very nice and very exclusive Dumbledore's army list. We'll talk about that later in the video. Right now, let's crack open the clamshell and see what we get for our money. Okay, so it turns out this is not a clamshell, just a clear plastic tray. LEGO seems to be making slow progress at reducing plastic in their sets, but at least this is recyclable. Inside the plastic packaging, we get a plastic bag full of plastic, and a tiny instruction booklet which is magically magnified to be nearly as big as your screen. Let's put all of this together and see how it looks. And here is the completed 40500 Wizarding World Minifigure Accessory Pack from LEGO Harry Potter! The set consists of 4 minifigures which make up half of the part count, and a table with some Wizarding World accessories. The table is simply constructed and looks like something you might get at the Leaky Cauldron, Hogshead, or 3 Broomsticks. Sitting on top of a stack of books is that message-delivering avian icon of the Wizarding World, an owl. The brown owl appears in 12 sets, and I think it could be the owl Sirius uses to send a message to Harry in the Goblet of Fire. In the movie version, director Mike Newell visualised a black owl. Nature hasn't invented those yet, so the animal grooming team used food colouring to paint a brown owl black. No wonder the owl got all bitey. According to the owl experts at ELOPS, binocular vision and superb directional hearing make brown owls great night hunters. It's a nicely moulded printed element and was first introduced in 2010, where you can see it in sets, including the popular 4842 Hogwarts Castle. The books have no identifying features and are constructed from 2x2 plates and 2x2 jumpers. I like the stack of cauldrons, which fit well with the wizarding theme and give this a Diagon Alley-esque appearance. The reddish-brown element is the rarer of the 2, appearing in only 3 sets, including 2020's epic 5,544-piece recreation of Diagon Alley. Finally, sitting on the table, we have 2 jars. This one is easy to identify and contains a rather potent wizarding treat, acid pops. Ron claims that an acid pop given to him by Fred when he was 7 burned a hole right through his tongue. Acid pops, among other candy-related passwords, was used to gain access to Dumbledore's office via the Griffin stairwell located off the 2nd floor corridor. The element can also be found in 76388 Hogsmeade Village Visit within Honeyduke's Sweet Shop. This decorated element is less easy to identify, but looks like it might have come from Snape's storeroom. The label is handwritten with a rune and some unreadable handwriting. It appears to contain some kind of leaves, but I'm no herbologist, so your guess is as good as mine. The most impressive and exclusive accessory from the set is a 2x4 printed tile containing the names of the first 7 members of the newly formed Dumbledore's army. These were Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, George Weasley, Fred Weasley, Ginny Weasley, Luna Lovegood, and Neville Longbottom, who later went on to become herbology professor at Hogwarts. Dumbledore's Army, or DA, was a secret organisation formed in 1995 after teaching of Defence Against the Dark Arts was turned over to Dolores Jane Umbridge. Her teaching materials were not exactly badass. The DA was formed in the lesser frequented Hog's Head pub, which can be found in Hogsmeade. There were at least 31 known members and a bunch of unnamed students from Gryffindor, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. Screw you, Slytherin! Harry taught members of the DA practical defensive spells like the disarming charm Expelliarmus, the dangling jinx Levicorpus, and more advanced magical techniques such as conjuring a corporeal Patronus. The collection of accessories is a little random, but there are some nice nuggets. In all honesty, if you're buying this set, it is probably going to be for the 4 exclusive-ish minifigures: the untrustworthy Mr. Borgin, Harry Potter in Gryffindor robes, a generic top hat wearing wizard, and a witch with a very familiar looking hat. Let's start with Mr. Borgin, who doesn't appear to have a first name. This is his first appearance as a minifigure, and we first encounter the character in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets in 2002. Borgin was a proprietor of Borgin and Burkes, an antique store found in Knockturn Alley. Established in 1863, it specialised in items of dark magic. In 1947, for instance, Caractacus Burke bought Slytherin's locket from Merope Gaunt. Borgin and Burkes also supplied the opal necklace that Katie Bell tried to deliver to Dumbledore, and a vanishing cabinet which allowed Death Eaters to enter Hogwarts on the fateful night of Dumbledore's assassination. If you don't remember seeing Borgin in the Chamber of Secrets, you're not alone. The theatrical version most people saw was 161 minutes, but there is an extended cut which adds another 13 minutes. Harry arrives in the fireplace at Borgin and Burkes after using the Flu Network to travel to Diagonally. After arm wrestling the Hand of Glory, he beats a hasty retreat, but in the extended version, Draco and Lucius Malfoy come in to sell some dark magic items. Harry hides in an Iron Maiden while Borgin and Malfoy dicker over the price. The minifigure does bear resemblance to Borgin, but the costume is not right. It stands on a pair of dark brown posable adult legs, but the torso, whilst nicely printed, is way too smartly dressed for Borgin. In the movie, he wears all dark clothing complete with a black necktie. This torso is very dapper, but it's not what Borgin wore. There's some more printing around the back, but it just repeats the woven pattern of the jacket we did not see in the movie. The facial expression is much better and depicts a shrewd shopkeeper with stubble and a distinctly untrustworthy expression. The alternate expression is a little harder to read. It reminds me of how Borgin looked when he encountered Harry trying to leave the shop. That's assuming you're watching the right version of the movie, of course. Borgin was played by British actor Edward Tudor Pole. He also fronted punk band Tenpole Tudor and presented game show The Crystal Maze. Comparing the minifigure to the on-screen character, LEGO has done a great job with the face and hair but failed to pay attention to the costume, which is a little disappointing. Notwithstanding, it's great to see another character from the Wizarding world make their debut in minifigure form. Next we have the HP 300 version of The Boy What Gone Done Lived, Harry Potter. Although technically new and exclusive, he is a mashup of existing parts. The legs are bog standard black monochrome posable legs, so this minifigure is definitely from The Prisoner of Azkaban or later. The face and hair definitely suggest an Order of the Phoenix era Harry. The torso shows Harry wearing Gryffindor robes which are tightly fastened. This is a relatively new print from 2020 and used in 4 minifigures. Around the back we have some more printing picking out the hood complete with red Gryffindor lining. A pair of wands mounted on a piece of sprue is included. Harry's wand of course is 11 inches long, nice and supple, made of holly and possessing a phoenix feather core. Harry's hair is a very common element used on 272 minifigures in many colours, but a good fit for the character. The facial expression shows a slightly older Harry with a wry smile and a twinkle in his eye, for Cho Chang maybe. The alternate expression shows a very much more disconcerted looking Harry. Despite Harry having long legs and an older face, I couldn't find him wearing robes fastened like this in any of the later movies. These torsos were made for the Diagon Alley set and this was the best match I could find, but it's still a great likeness for Harry. The thing I dislike is that the printing for the robes stops very abruptly at the hips. It's good, but there are definitely better Harry Potter minifigures out there. Next to apparate into the spotlight is the HP-301 Wizard. No official name is given to this character, but it does look familiar. The obvious candidate would be Dedalus Diggle, who we see briefly in the first movie. Dedalus was a member of the Order of the Phoenix and helped the Dursleys escape in the Deathly Hallows. This minifigure, however, doesn't look a lot like Dedalus. In fact, all of the parts are borrowed from other minifigures. The standard black minifigure legs have been used on hundreds, if not thousands of them. The printed torso is a really nice design and has been used exclusively in the Wizarding world. Garrick Ollivander wore it in the HP-246 minifigure, and we also see it on the HP-318 grip hook. The design is very Victorian and really fits the theming. There's a little bit more printing on the back of the torso showing the details of the jacket. If the face looks familiar, you'd be right not to underestimate the power of your recollection. This used to be the face of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and was also used for a minifigure in the 2019 LEGO Store employee gift. What really confirms that this is not Dedalus Diggle is the top hat. Dedalus was described as a tiny man in a violet top hat. The image from the movie seems to confirm that description. But check out this other unnamed character lurking in the background. He's got the grey beard, the black top hat, the red vest, and the red tie. The minifigure seems to check all of the boxes, and when you put them side by side, they are a pretty good match. As the character was not specifically called out in the movie, it seems that LEGO's naming convention was absolutely right here. But does the same apply to the HP-302 generic witch, or as I prefer to call her, Frankenwitch? Starting with the good bits, we have a brand new printed skirt piece. This is really nicely printed with a belt tied around the waist, a pouch for galleons, sickles and knuts, and a couple of containers for magical ingredients. What I really like about this is the fact that we've got printing on the curved part at the back. Where the two parts meet in the middle gives us a clue that these weren't really designed to be together. The torso works pretty well with the skirt, but it was actually used previously on Vicky Vale. She's one of the minifigures from the 76139 1989 Batmobile. The torso also gives us a clue as to who this character may be based on from the Wizarding world. Going back to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry briefly meets Doris Crockford. Unfortunately, the minifigure lacks Doris Crockford's long white straight hair. The facial expression is also rather less friendly. It was used for the HP-217 Petunia Dursley minifigure, which we found in 4 Privet Drive. The facial expression is pretty neutral apart from the furrowed eyebrow. The alternate expression is much better and expresses fear or borderline terror. The hat is a relatively new element and also occupies the head of Professor Sinistra. She was in the Chamber of Secrets set, which also came out in 2021. It's super detailed and dual moulded from 2 different colours of plastic. Although some of the details are very similar to Doris Crockford, I don't believe this is her. If you've managed to spot this minifigure lurking around in Diagon Alley or even Nocturne Alley, do let me know who it is in the comments below. While this may not be the strongest collection of minifigures, I do think it's worth getting, at least for Mr. Borgin. Apart from that, it's a bit of a mishmash of parts we've seen before. In fact, it's fair to say this whole set is a bit of a mishmash. The Harry Potter minifigure and the Dumbledore's army list is definitely plucked from the Order of the Phoenix. Another easy match is Mr. Borgin, who appeared in the extended version of the Chamber of Secrets. Acid Pops don't make an appearance in the cinematic universe until Harry's visit to Honeydukes Sweet Shop in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Assuming this is the brown owl Sirius Black used to send a message to Harry, this would link the bitey bird to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The only other identifiable parts are the Witch and Wizard, which were at least heavily inspired by characters from the Philosopher's Stone. The Wizarding World minifigure accessory set is certainly an interesting hodgepodge of stuff. The $15 price tag is a little steep, and you really need to be into LEGO Harry Potter to appreciate this. My favourite minifigure is definitely Mr. Borgin, and favourite accessory has to be the Dumbledore's army list. I love the fact that LEGO went to the trouble to copy the signatures from the movie. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you rush out and buy this, but as a collector I simply had to have it. As LEGO Harry Potter sets go, this one is not very impressive, so next time we're going to be raising the bar with a truly iconic set. I just finished building the 76391 Hogwarts Icons Collector's Edition, and I can't wait to show you all of the cool details. To make sure you don't miss out on that and other LEGO Harry Potter goodness, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Hungry for more? Check out my channel to find a magical menagerie of Harry Potter set reviews spanning the last 20 years. I'll be back soon with that bloody pigeon, so thanks a million for checking out the review, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next build video.